So our question today is, are you ready to die? Are you ready to give it all up? Physical death is coming no matter what. So my question isn't, are you ready for that? Or do you have your 401k set up? Do you have your life insurance and those type of things? Is your family all set? Are your finances in good order? That's not what I'm referencing. Are you ready to die while you're still living? Are you ready to give up everything right here and now? Are you ready to say every area and aspect of my life, I'm ready to give it up? I'm ready to die to flesh in order to live by the Spirit. At this stage of history, it is so important as we as the church, we have to address this question daily. Am I ready to die? Am I ready to give everything? And you want to know how to do that, or a perfect example of what that looks like? Very simple. You look to the book of Acts. You look to a group of men who at one stage of their life were denying Jesus, were questioning him, were doubting him. Where are you going? Where is this place you're referring to that you're going? They seem to be, as much as they followed him, not in step with what he was really sharing with them about who he was. And then all of a sudden, one occurrence comes at the beginning of the book of Acts. The baptism of the Holy Spirit and fire comes, and all of a sudden they go from men who seem to be bewildered about the truth of the Messiah to ones who are what? Ready to die for him. And the proof is in the action. The proof is in the lifestyle that they then lead. Listen, the Apostle Paul, it is documented 17 different times in the book of Acts that this man, by his very own people, Hebrew people, there was an attempt upon his life. There was an attempt to try to murder him 17 times. You don't have to do the math. I did it for you already. And yet, throughout all of that, what did he continue to do? Preach the gospel, share the gospel. Even in chains, he shared the gospel. He lived out the message of the gospel. He lived a lifestyle that proved, I'm ready to die. He lived a lifestyle that said to live is Christ and to die is gain. He lived a lifestyle that said, as it does in Acts 20, I consider my life worth nothing to me, if only I may finish the race and complete the task that God has given to me. What task? The task of testifying to the gospel of God's grace. He was willing to give it all up, willing to die, eventually did die for the sake of the gospel. Are you ready to do that today? Are you ready in the small and great areas of your life? Look, there's a lot of the larger areas of our life where we say, I'm ready, Lord, I'm ready. Purge me, take this from me, give me a strength and a power and a focus and a vision to do these things for you. But then in the small areas of our life, we're still holding back. God's looking for those that are ready to no longer be enslaved to sin, but now be an ambassador in chains for him. Are you ready to die? The apostles lived that lifestyle, and because they lived that lifestyle, another stat, there are 19 documented times in the book of Acts where the apostles shared the gospel in some shape, form, or fashion, whether it was through something prophetically, whether it was through laying on of hands, whether it was through sharing the good news of Jesus Christ. There are 19 documented times where the church by number expanded in that moment, either from a handful all the way up to 3,000 in one day. Why did that happen? Because they were dedicated to living the lifestyle that God called them to. Living truth, sharing truth, regardless of the danger and the impact it may have negatively against them. It didn't matter to them. Peter goes from denying the Lord to being one of his fiercest fighters and warriors for him. giving everything for him. That's what he's calling us to do today. I don't know if you've noticed, but our world is going crazier every day. God doesn't need people who are putting 2 or 3 or 7 or 8 toes in. He needs those that are putting all 10 in and saying, I'm all in. I'm ready to die for what it is you need me to do. Whatever it is. If you want to see the perfect example of what this looks like, read the book of Acts and get sucked in to what these men of God did, that if they didn't do, none of us would know the truth. None of us would know this man who gave his life on a cross at Calvary for us. None of us would know that we have been redeemed by what the King of all glory did for us at the cross. None of us would know, but we know because those men, those handful of men, gave everything. Stephen gave his life. Paul would eventually give his life. The apostles, most would die a martyr death because they understood that when Acts 1:8 says, you will be filled with power in order to be my witness, they understood that, that word witness is actually translated to the word martyr. What's a martyr do? A martyr is ready to give up their life. They're ready to die if necessary for what they believe in. Are you ready for that? I want you to seriously challenge yourself and ask, in every area of my life, am I ready to physically die, but also am I ready to simply die to my flesh? Am I ready to do whatever I must do, eliminate whoever I must eliminate from my life, take on whatever I must take on in my life, do that ministry I've been called to for years and years? Am I ready to leave that relationship that I think is right for me? Am I ready to embrace that relationship that I think may not be right for me? Am I willing to listen to the voice of God and trust in his plans or purposes instead of my own? Are you ready to die to self today? Because that's who he's looking for. That's who he's craving. That's who he wants to send out into the uttermost parts of the earth and share this gospel message through our actions and through our words. Those that are ready to give all for him. Those that are saying to live as Christ, to die as gain. That's a desire of my heart every day. None of us will be perfect, but all he's looking for, he's not looking for perfect people. He's looking for those who are simply passionate about doing his will. Are we ready to give him everything? That's what I challenge you with this week. Check yourself, check your inner man and see, am I ready to give everything for the one who gave everything for me? God bless you. Remember, tomorrow is Fasting Friday. We're going to be fasting to see revival break out at 1081 Port Malabar Boulevard. If you don't know what's there, show up there at 7:30 tomorrow night and witness a move of God that I believe will take place in that environment tomorrow night. God bless you. As always, live truth, share truth.